I'd like to thank you all for coming to this party. And you automatically are invited to my 80th. There won't be any live bands. I'm not sure which care home it is. But we'll all be sat in armchairs, clapping along to the radio. Okay? I'd like to thank the Hunch for their wonderful performance. And now, there's a special guest about to come on, so I'd like you to bear with me, and anyone who might be easily offended, cover your ears. Right, I'll go see if he's ready. Hold on.
Cover your eyes. That's too soon.
MC Loud on the mic. I were off for a walk when I met with Joe. He says, "Hey up, you off to the show?" I says, "I don't want, but I will if you want." First though, says, "We're off for a pint." So we went down road to Rose and Crown, ordered a pint to quickly down. "Two more," says Joe, because it was his shout. And with no more ado, we put fire out. There's no more refreshing in these here dales than a couple of three of Yorkshire ales. We left after two because we thought we better add. Out back door and across the yard, through Snicket, down by Beck. Joe gets a welly full, he says, "Ooh heck." On the road to Showground Gates, where we bumped into Ben and his brother Tommy Yates. Had to look around for something to arouse us. Fella over there, 20 ferrets in his trousers. Look at me with one in mind. What to lose for a man in his prime. We've used all beasts, bulls and cows, all them fine fat bulls and sows, but just further up, over in young keep with the bells and the ball, those cute little sheep. About this time we built up a thirst. "I've left me wallet," Yates he cursed. "One big first time," says my mate Joe, "but I'll stand you a pint, for a pint you shall go." So we made for a tent, up to the bar, before she pulled the last I drained first jar, went down right, went right down there and touched the side. Won't leave it here till I'd all me hide. In one Fred Hardcastle, Albert Thwaites, Morris Sugden and some of his mates, heard all gossip, all village news, but I couldn't take my mind off and book some news. I whispered to Joe what I had on my mind, imagining a little woolly behind. "Okay, Arthur, half a more. Before I leave, I'll have to go, so bladder's empty, your animal full. We left the pigs and goats and bulls on to moors to have some fun, to chase some sheep and see them run. Now you gotta be on your guard, cause catching news is pretty hard. Joe took left, I took right, then we lunged with all our might. Cornered one by dry-stone walls. Hey up, Joe, this one's got balls. We let that go, you can understand, with a look in his eye like, "Get off me land." We parted company, hasty like, over a wall, across the dyke, to where we heard the sound of bleating in the paddock where yous were meeting. "This'll be a cinch," says Joe. "Go on, Arthur, have a go." I noticed one stood in the crowd. She blinked at me and bleated loud. It was to my surprise I found she never moved. She stood her ground, put her legs in me wellies, got a firm grip, what us lads call a reachly dip. I turned around to look at Joe. He had found himself a low, so there we were, upon the moors, we're a pair of bleating whores. She went bam, I says, come again. At that point down came the rain. I says, we'd better add retreat. Downhill through boggy peat. By this time I began to itch. With every joy there comes a hitch. 'Tis a problem when out in sticks. Worse than crabs in Zemsham ticks.